What else would you add in making it whatever it is? I know it's just a tool. We can
A conscience.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Big Tycoon brings to you settlement plot at Dargal near Mopa Airport. Price starts from 15,000 rupees per square meter.
So mentioning about time and narrative. So I happened to read this book called Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. If you heard of this great philosopher Eckhart Tolle, he mentions there's no time. What all yours right now. So how you view that in a time-space continuum?
Sorry. What's the question?
The question is, he mentions there's no time, whereas you tell time is required for a narrative or narrative is required for time. Whereas he mentions very clearly that time is an illusion and what all you have right now is now, the present moment.
Yeah.
How you view that?
Yeah, that's true. Time is an illusion. Of course it is. Time kab shuru hua, according to scientists, it started like 13 point something billion years ago with the Big Bang. You ask them what happened before Big Bang, they said, well, we don't know. So time is a narrative. It's a narrative.
Sir, I've been following on Twitter also from long time. In 2013 or 14, it was told that you were making two films. First on Time Machine, maybe starring Amir Khan, and second was Pani. But I want to know about that. There are big budget films and highly commercial films in Hollywood like Avatar, Ben-Hur and all. I want to name it, the both films, your films, that would be a dream project. And yeah, I was also excited for it, Shekhar Kapur.
You want to know what happened to those films?
Yeah, why? No, I want to know why. Whose fault is it? The audience of India or the producers? And why?
How can it be audience fault if I don't complete the film? Or is it making, right?
Okay.
बहुत पॉलिटिक्स होते हैं फिल्म मेकिंग में कभी कभी आई एम अ वेरी डिफिकल्ट मैन टू डील विद आई टेल माय प्रोड्यूसर्स कि आई एम टफ इन माय ओन सेल्फ आई एम अ डिफरेंट पर्सन दैट यू टॉक टू ऐसे लगता है शेख इज अ नाइस गाय ऑन सेट आई एम नॉट ऑन सेट समथिंग एल्स कोई और भूत आ जाता है मुझे मुझ में जो डायरेक्टिंग भूत है.
My question is, how are you both? If you were the creators of AI, what else would you add to AI? What else would you add in making it whatever it is? I know it's just a tool. We can
A conscience.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I would add, I mean, for some way there should be a filter which knows right from wrong. I mean, but what is right and wrong is then another question. So what would I add? I don't know. It's difficult. I mean, I hope AI remains in human control.
It has to. But it can't not.
And as a kid, I used to read a comic book called Magnus the Robo Fighter. Have you guys read it? I mean, it's about a land or time where robots ruled the world and the human beings were. So I hope that future, I mean, we won't be around anyway. So.
Yeah, the first novel on AI was written in 1883. Was Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. तब से बात चल रही है that we create a robot that becomes present, that has human emotion. अभी तक तो नहीं हुआ, right? तब से चल रहा है. This question has been, what happens if we get taken over by an intelligence, for aliens coming, taking over us? But we've never defined. We always assumed we are very intelligent. Right? What is intelligence? We've never.
Some people would say that, maybe it might be a good idea for someone else to take us over because we haven't actually been the ideal rulers of this planet.
But Sudhir, we're not. Sudhir, we're not the ideal rulers.
Huh?
You think that the planet really cares about us?
No.
Yeah,
that's an arrogance that is.
That's our own arrogance.
Yeah.
The planet loves cockroaches as much as it loves us.
Yeah.
तो आप करोगे सब कुछ खत्म हो जाएगा, cockroaches will get left. So be it. That's what the planet desires. It's a bigger intelligence than we are because the planet itself has its own survival mechanism. And its survival mechanism will say, oh, the human beings are making me difficult. Even COVID, what makes you think that the planet doesn't love COVID better than us? We are at danger, not the planet.
So talking about artificial intelligence and filmmaking, a lot of concern was regarding the screenwriting that would lead that would take place because of AI, because of ChatGPT. So a lot of screenwriters thought that they would lose their jobs. But we know that we can't really depend on algorithms and depend on AI to create films that do eventually end up connecting with a huge audience, because a human touch needs to be there. and AI will only operate on the database that it has. So instead of thinking that AI is going to be a threat, can we not see it as a tool that could, enhance our craft as screenwriters, as filmmakers, and could eventually lead to, us creating better films, better scripts? Or do you think that it will eventually take over everything and the algorithm will eventually collapse and then we would eventually need a human touch to again rebuild the model? Thank you.
Where what is a threat actually is series, the OTT series and everything, because we as audiences, we like characters, right? And we like the fundamental conflict. AI picks up that up very easily. And we won't go back to the series unless the same characters are there and the same conflict is there. So that's very easy for AI to pick up, right? And so
Write an episode of Friends.
yeah, you can write an episode of Friends, you can write any episode on that because it's picked it up. It's picked it up, the fundamental conflict and the characters. But that's not AI's fault. It's your fault. Because that's what you want. You want to go back at home and say, oh, now yaar, let me watch Friends, I like those characters. He likes those characters, AI has picked up. Arey yaar, wo to badal gaya. I thought she was going to be in love with so and so, so and so. AI picked that up. So there, you are at fault as a writer, and you are at fault as a broadcaster, and you are at fault as audience. Because what you're giving AI is yeah, that's what I like, so I suppose it's easier. The other day, just before I was in London, Hyde Park, it was really cold, and there was a dog straining against the owner of the pet, right? And I took a picture of it, and I looked at the picture and said, now, who's the pet and who's the master? If it was just a still, you wouldn't know which one becomes and when. So our problem with AI is not going to be, it's going to be that AI, we are teaching AI what we like, and AI is making us standardized. वही होता था फिल्म में वही कहते थे. I remember before I left India to make films outside, because there was no film ever that I could, no story I could ever tell a producer, and you know what they would say to me? लेकिन यार हीरो की माँ कहाँ है इसमें? That's somehow data has standardized the way of filmmaking, right?
And it's not only AI, he's right. I mean,
It's much more. It's that somehow we've assumed that between the writer and the audience and the filmmakers, there's some kind of pact कि hero की माँ होनी चाहिए. How easy is that? For AI, you पकड़ लेगा. So you have to just keep on challenging who you are. You have to keep on challenging what you're going to do that's completely different for the world. And the fact that you might fail is far, yeah, of course you might fail because you made the audiences want, most audiences want to go back and see. You can't watch a Satyajit Ray and say, oh, it's Bahubali, and say it's directed by Satyajit Ray. You'll walk out of the hall because your expectations are not there. It's different.